You always go when I need you the most. You always go when I need you the most. You know.
Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Bitcoin hanging on 77,000. Looks like it barely is going to make it. This is crazy. We're going to find out right now. Friday is not my favorite day. After 12 o'clock, it gets tight. Even just generally, the whole day. Let's take a look at what's happening to BTC on the day. God bless you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you, dear Lord, for this opportunity. And thank you for jumping on in from the undisclosed location deep underground. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show. Deeper than InfoWars. Shout out to Boondock Saint, Rave Song Record. All the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Shout out to everybody that supports the channel and keeps it cooking. We appreciate you. We love you guys. We thank you so much for constantly being here and being a part of something bigger than yourselves. We appreciate that. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Looks like it's about to collapse further to the downside. Shorts are abound, but these altcoins don't care. Zcash, right? It ripped right off that resistance area. That support right here was resistance. It became support. 520. I mean, support and resistance is so beautiful. You just buy into these areas. Let them rip. Let's talk about hype continuing to rip to the upside. We're going to look at U.S. oil. We're going to look at it all. We're going to do the top-down analysis and have a blast today. Shout out to everybody here. Appreciate you all for jumping on in. That looks like a possible double top for hype to me. But, I mean, the 3-hour still has a lot of legs in the stochastics RSI. Tells me that it may just continue to rip there. The 3-hour and the 4-hour have some legs. You know, eventually it'll turn into a bear div likely, though. You'll pump up somewhere here, bear div. The one thing I would caution is the 3-day very far away from the 21-day moving average. To me, that always has a bit of a disaster. Came down. I mean, you're going to come down at one point. Maybe you pump up to 70. 70 becomes the high, then you pull a fib. Maybe a retracement back to 50 as the bottoming area. Maybe we use that previous resistance at 56. I don't know exactly. Something up here got me like blurry in the same place again, which is moisture. I'm like, how you doing it twice over? There you go. So Hyperliquid to me is a great play. If I was swing trading it, I'd be taking some profits out, you know, at least 50, 60% at this point. Looks like that's what just happened here as Hyperliquid just got a bit of a pullback there on the 1 hour, the 2 hour time frame. Back to 60. Topped out at about, what, 61.90. I'd be careful chasing it at the top. Look at the stochastics RSI. Look at this is a bearish divergence all the 1 hour time frame. Your indicators are going to tell you, you know, to ease off there a little bit. You even have the volume falling to the downside while price is moving up. That's a divergence in volume and price action. So I would take it as a, and with Bitcoin just losing 77,000, and you can see this is a shoulder, head, right shoulder that looked like it was about to take a bit of a dump easy to the downside. right? And you can see that. I mean, we lost the trend line. I was looking for a bounce in sideways price action. I gave a pretty, basic update to the trading group. I said this is a symmetrical triangle. I said it's 50%. I said they mainly break to the downside. I said most of the time these break down. So the odds are with you to short the market. And that's exactly what happened there. We got a nasty move to the downside. So that's kind of, par for the course. And if you want to know where we're going, you take the move here from wick basically to there, and I kind of balance it a little bit with the neckline, and you swing it to where you draw the neckline. And it says you're going to about 76,550. That's the target. Bitcoin still has all this liquidity up at 78,000, 78,500, and I was looking for us to go grab that $79,000 liquidity. I'm actually a bit confused, but it is what it is. They've been doing so many wacky things with price that, all I do is look at the TA. I don't really try to get into the analytics because it won't make sense. Like this Adam and Eve that just didn't dump. You know what I mean? Like it just went the opposite way, and then it turned into a head and shoulder, but then it did dump on the head and shoulder. Very interesting times to be alive, I have to be honest. Man, I don't understand when they change my buttons. Why you got to do the buttons? Anyway, we're going to do a top-down analysis for you right now on BTC. But just so you can see what's happening right there on that 1 hour time frame, it is a head and shoulder pattern, clear as day. I mean, it's right there. Shoulder, head, right shoulder, and we're making a move to the downside, right? And you can see the gap in the VRVP to the value area low, 76.5, and you see the chop right here. And it's just been choppy price action. Look at price action. It's just been tight. We had a symmetrical triangle here, could have gone either way. They spiked it up this way. Now we made a symmetrical triangle here. And again, when you're in a lot of symmetrical triangles, it's telling you price action is in a bit of a range bound situation. You keep kind of getting them over and over again. You're getting these same, I don't know why that keeps happening. I'm hitting Alt T, I'm pretty sure. But you're getting too much of this. It's just over, you're getting too many scenarios where you're getting tight, losing it. Now here you gained above the previous high. Then you're stuck in a higher low, and you're kind of technically still in a bit of a small uptrend here, defying that you broke this trend. That was a downtrend. You did break it. You tried to slowly climb to the upside. Thing that you don't want to see is once you're starting to get bullish, right? We had this, you don't want to lose the 200 moving averages. I keep talking about that. They are flags for the future. So they tell you what's likely going to happen if you pay attention. And so right here, similar idea, right? It said, well, you don't want to be losing. And then we retested the 200, and then we slipped further to the downside. And there you go. And there we have a nasty move down for BTC. That's why I've been cautiously trading small amounts until, you know what I mean? And again, there's a beautiful short right there. Again, no excuses. My morning just wasn't perfectly laid out this morning, and I did not have a chance to see the charts where I wanted to see them. It was also a Friday. So, but man, shoulder, head, right shoulder, there's a beautiful entry on a short right there with a stop loss above the right shoulder. I mean, perfect after the fact, but I show you this to you so much that you got to start being like, well, I mean, it's over and over again, right? And it tells you where we're going. It says you're headed down to 76,125. It's that's where traders are going to start taking profits. They're going to take profits here too. At this bounce in a lot of this area here, we may get a bounce there. But I mean, you can see that we're clearly going to the downside, straight down too. That's just like plowing to the downside. And so there you have it. Bitcoin with a nasty dump down. A nasty dump down. Wow. And there you have it. Let's see if there's more to go on the 1 minute. Yeah, I mean, even if you look at the 1 minute, you can see a shoulder, head, right shoulder, a descending triangle. If it was, if you weren't sure, I mean, it all goes together. You know what I mean? This stuff works together. You get above the 200, you touch the 21. That's what we would take on the 1 minute every single morning, but you just flip it upside down and you take it down. Easier said than done. You see what I'm saying? Easier said than done. What the heck is going on here? Hold on. I feel like I'm listening to something in the background. Craziness. So look, this could go further down all the way to about 76,800. I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, you could see, and then you could see there where it was likely going to go. Bang. If you're good at TA, you're going to hit every single time you see it. No, there's going to be chances where you miss it. You might actually go to the bathroom. Like you might actually, as funny as it sounds, you might have a bowel movement, and it may be the moment where you miss a perfect entry because you might want to be waiting on a like I want to be waiting on a right shoulder to close. I might want to be waiting on a close below a 200. This is even a symmetrical triangle here on the 1 minute. And pretty nice short to the downside, and that's just going to affect the rest of the market, right? And let's take a look at what happened. We did have some, I believe there was data in today. Something came in today, I'm pretty sure, right? Was it 8:30? No, yeah, goods trade balance. You have to reset this to get the data. No, nothing crazy came in today. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that, not everything has to be spiked by the news, but, pay attention. That's bear div. I mean, and that's going to be cat ears. That's going to be cat ears. That's likely going to come down somewhere here and meet the 200 moving average, right? And you can see the gap in the VRVP. There's a high volume node right there. You can start picking out where you'd like to see this short going, right? So you got bearish divergence, overbought stochastics, and cat ears possibly forming. I'd begin to think about a possible short there on hype, right? Is the pain over? Is this the bounce? Are the late shorts about to get it? Let's take a look at the bigger picture and see kind of where this landed us for the weekly and the monthly. And, because I did an update this morning, but it's actually drastically changed since we got this move. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. We greatly appreciate you for jumping on in here and supporting the channel and becoming a crypto lifer champion. We got to look at the chat in a second and see any familiar faces we got here. And make sure we got everything posted. Everything's going well. Okay, we reloaded over here. Shout out to my awesome people, man. You people are the best. The lifers are the best. And happy Memorial Day weekend to everybody here in America. Moment of silence for every single person and every veteran in war, anyone, It's all really about our freedom and, America, as we've been sold. But, in the general sense, those men did risk their lives for us, right? So, moment of silence from Memorial Day weekend. As, a lot of people are probably going to hopefully take the day off today or hopefully start off tonight with a barbecue. And then, they get Monday off already knowing they're going to have that nice long weekend. Dear Lord, thank you for all the people that have given their lives for the freedom of others. Amen. Thank you. Shout out to any veterans in the chat. Thank you so much for your sacrifice and for what you've done for our country, and any veteran of any country, really. I respect you. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that has done their thing. So beautiful fall wedge, broke out of this resistance. I just like that this is moving nicely, curving on the stochastics, curving on the RSI. It doesn't look horrible. I'm not, you know what I mean? It could let go. We could go lower, but the monthly has broken out. Even if this candle closes somewhat bearish, there's a chance, you know what I mean? But I would like to see this give some more green back. We have 9 days and 10 hours. Always right click here. Go to the label section. Move on in again to another. So you have a hidden menu. Inside that, you have another another add-on menu. And then countdown to bar close. You're going to be clicking on that. That's going to give you every time a bar closes on every time frame. This has 9 days and 10 hours. So we still have time. In 9 days, this could easily be back up here and change the whole story. So, we don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. We will get there, though. 2-week chart, but bearish engulfing. You got to listen to that. Every time we've had something, tweezer bottom, pain. It does tell a story. Drop to the downside there. It actually has been pretty solid. Tweezer tops on the 2 hour have played out, except for this one with that crazy wick, but it was kind of an indecision doji. So you look here, and you got yourself in a bit of a flag. And this thing can go way further to the downside. Wait, somewhere to what? About 48,861. And then you got this level here, 54,000, that everyone keeps screaming for. Everybody seems to want 54K. Are we going to get it? You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we make a giant double bottom here. And, you know, Bitcoin just kind of makes its way. That would be interesting because it would get us through the summer. It would be a slow bleed in June, which would get everyone freaked out back to 65. We'd hang out. They'd all be saying lower, lower, lower. The shorts would go crazy, and there would be a massive squeeze. Then we'd stop here with the resistance, but then we'd have, you know, and we get the measured move. And it says, you know what, it would take us till maybe September, October to get back to 106,000. Then we get a rate cut and fireworks into January. So we'll see. We will see. January has been notoriously hot for Bitcoin recently too. So, you know, but that doesn't mean it's going to be, but it has been. Okay, Doke, get the likes up to the watchers. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Okay. So one thing we're looking at now, and we're looking at it quite closely, is can we get back above this key range, right? I don't like, if the 2-week chart closes like this, that you got to take that as a bearish close. Period. Just like that weekly was a bearish close. When you get a bearish engulfer, you got to believe that the next candle is going to be red. If you take that on as your assumption and you trade like that, you're going to be right more than you're wrong. You get it? It doesn't mean you're going to be right every time. That's the problem. The issue is people go heavy risk on the one. They might be right 3 times. So the 4th time they go so right. Oh, I'm so right. They go extra. And that's when they lose the most. And they end up with more losses, even though they've only lost one. See, that's the difference. You got to have risk management and you have to have position sizing. Both of those things have to be controlled. Why? Because I've seen people that win less trades than me make more money than me. I've seen people that win more trades than me lose more money than me, right? So it goes both ways. But what I mean is I've seen people lose 1 out of 10 trades. They're a 90% win rate. They're hot. But the one trade they lost was a liquidation. And that was the whole account. So they did great until they didn't. You know what I mean? It's a vicious game. So crazy how that, oh, it's this one, right? Yeah. I'm just a little hot on the upper left there. I guess I could take that one down. But it's a key light, right? Oh, that is down. Interesting. There we go. A little better, I guess. Not bad. Anyway. So. I mean, when I look at this, I see it's bearish. I mean, you're overbought on the stochastics. You've lost the trend line on the weekly, clear as day, which you had for such a nice period of time. The only thing I give is bullish is you're hanging, the structure without any indicators is bearish. And it looks like you're going to come down to test the bottom of this, or at least this resistance here at 72,850. It could also be a bear trap, making it look so bearish they rip it back inside and then send us this, Shanghai. So I can't. I've had to be on my toes as a trader, man, the last, really always, but more than ever. I realized that I had it easy. I thought I had it hard the last 5 years. I've had it way easier than it's been. It's been way more difficult. You got to be really about what you're doing. Everyone was expecting rate cuts this year, but with everything going on, Fed won't cut rates this year. It doesn't look good. I mean, honestly, I never expected rate cuts, right? Because we use the CME watch tool. It's been, I have to say, basically 100% accurate. It's never been wrong, right? It's never been wrong. I mean, it's never been wrong. And it's telling us right here, there's no rate cut coming. And so you, okay, well, maybe July. 82% still strong. September, it starts to slide. There's chances of an October rate cut. You see? As this gets close, but still the strength, and then a high chance of a December rate cut is in the cards. A December rate cut is saying yes. So October and December, there's a chance here. And that's been very accurate over time. As crazy as it sounds, So the weekly, likely coming to test the 72.9 area, the $73,000 area, in my humblest of opinions, but you never know. The daily, the 5-day chart bouncing off the 200 moving average, right? So previous resistance becomes support. And, once that candle goes below the 200 and leaves it to me, that's like this, you're out of the safety zone. Like there's still a chance here that this can hold us. The last few times we broke above it, we did come back and test it once or twice. You see, we just broke above this thing. Can't see the break there. You have to go to all-time history index. I'll do that right now. Why, spare you the suspense here. You can see how this kind of looks like an Adam and Eve too. Like overall rounded top. And this morning, look, it had this possible cup and handle going. But it fell out the flag nastily to the down, which is, it's crazy because that's what's supposed to happen. If I shorted every symmetrical triangle I found in the last 2 years, I would have hit 90% of my trades. And then you can see there was a shoulder, head, right shoulder sitting right there waving at you before it happened. It's so weird how price action's always telling you what it's going to do. If you know your patterns, the patterns are staring at you in the face. It can, it hurts sometimes. Even me, I'm like, dude, why didn't you just take the easy pattern right there? Look, shoulder, head, right shoulder, simple short. Right? It's right there every time. Descending triangles. Done, This looks like a bigger descending triangle. Like, looks like it's gone go lower. Looks like it's gone go lower. Anyway. I did this to show you the 5-day chart and the 200 moving average, right? But honestly, this is like a bullish case for me. It's very, because you see every time we broke above it, right there, here we fell below it, but we did get back above it. And once we were above it, we were gone. It's weird. Every time we got above this yellow line, we had a huge move. And this goes back like years. Like here we are in 2016. It did it here. It rode it. It didn't lose it. It stayed right on it. What if we're doing one of those, What if, I know. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. And then there, if you extended it, it probably is a very similar idea. But this thing has been going on for a while. And Bitcoin loves this thing. Last 10 years straight, you can see every time we got above it, big pump there. Here we lost it. Once we got above it, nice pump there. It was like the biggest move in Bitcoin's life. And we lost it here for the bear market. Once we got above it, we were gone. 35,000 to 126. And then we finally got back above it for the first time, right? Since we had lost it there in February. Again, smaller pullback. So does it mean we have to have a deeper pain? That's kind of like the question here. So today's a big day because if we close below this in 3 days and 10 hours, I got to flip pretty bearish. Because to me, it's like it's a holder of the keys. If you can stay above that 200, there's a chance. But if you can't, we got some problems. So just one thing to kind of watch out for, to keep your kind of eyes peeled for this 5-day 200 moving average. You take a look at the 3-day chart, and actually things were going somewhat well yesterday. I was excited for us. We were like, yay. Coming to the 21, and again, we could have a little more pain to the 21 and still get a beautiful bounce here. Still, previous resistance could become support. We could, It's not all over yet. It's not all bear yet. People getting a little overly bearish. I'm still open-minded. Even though I am leaning, just to what the charts are telling me, which you can see clearly, they're not happy with the bulls. They're not bullish. Look at the daily now. Daily closes a bullish engulfing candle. Says, wow, it broke out of this kind of falling wedge. We had hope there. That was interesting. And then I figured the next candle would be green because he had a bullish engulfer. It was good, but kind of closed shakily at the end of the night. And then you can see today we're struggling on the daily. The one thing is we could be making a wick. The daily has time, but so you made this right shoulder. You don't. Almost feel like you're making another right shoulder. Like it's almost like a continuation, a lower high, lower low. And one thing you can even look at it. I was glancing, but like shoulder head and like just a mini right shoulder here too. And that clears the air, gives you the move down, and you end up down. Bitcoin back to 67. And once you're back in the 60s, those dreams of 80K are gone again, and the bears take over, and it gets pretty dark and dreary. It's interesting. We had this quick little hyper liquid pump, little Zcash pump, and resistance. That was I was screaming on this being support. I wanted to see a consolidate. I said, I'm not going to make a massive long unless we consolidate like this, right? And then it was going to be the greatest long ever. The 21, the 200, boom, man. It was such a dream, but we didn't get it, right? We lost this key area. We made those right shoulders. The smaller time frames even showed us, and so the daily too on that 1 hour head and shoulder pattern that we looked at earlier today. And so, yeah. I mean, now you're bearish unless you get back above 78,750. That's a resistance now. 78,750 is now a resistance. It was just previously support. And look at this. I mean, the 12 hour. Everything was looking nice. To be honest, last night, stochastics curving, we were looking nice. Looked like we were about to blast, but thou shalt not pass. Look at the point of control. Resistance. Just, we're not going to get a candle above 77.6. Insane. 8 hour completely collapsed. The 8 hour did look like a bear flag, and it was telling me we were bearish. It didn't look good. I kept saying that. It actually has a nasty leg down. So it looks like Bitcoin's in for some pain. I have to be honest. I mean, if it's an obvious now. I was hugging for a possible reversal, but man, this looks just bearish. 1 hour also isn't looking amazing. I mean, look at the pattern. It's like, and again, if you were in my trading group, we talked about it this morning. I gave an update and I said, listen, it's in a symmetrical triangle. It means it's a 50-50 pattern. And I said, most of the time these dump. And look at it, dump straight out of this thing. And then on top of it, there was a shoulder, head, right shoulder there. That also supplemented the idea, it just kind of gave you the idea that we were going to take a move down, right? It gives you the measured move. And this is a take no prisoners type of dump here. They're clearing out all the longs. They're clearing out the long. It's Publishers Clearinghouse right now, straight up. Rejection of the 200 moving average on the 15-minute. Key concepts that I teach. As it made basically a right shoulder. When does the pain stop? Honestly, this looks like a nasty one. This is one of those big drops that doesn't really have a clean end just yet. 1 minute looks like you can take another short right off this bearish move here to the downside. Possible move right now on the 1 minute. I said the 1 hour, I mean the 1 minuto. Right? And Bitcoin struggling to stay alive. 76,781 was here earlier today. Wasn't the worst, but wasn't the best. This is okay, a little bit of bull div here. Attempting to fight off the bears here. A little bit of bullish divergence. We're trading. This is BTCC. Jump on in today. If you want to jump on into BTCC, they're doing something pretty cool to the community. The lifers, baby. 9 days. Jump on in. Trade and win a rollie. All right. 3 winners, 3 iconic watches. I showed mine off earlier yesterday. I'm not trying to do it every day, but, kind of get you hyped, get you going. And, 3 iconic watches. Jump on in today. It'll change your life. No, I won't change. I'm just, but trading, and I believe if you traded and you traded well and you end up winning a rollie over it, I think it will inspire you to continue to go. So I think it will change your life in some way, actually. It's you know what I mean? It'll inspire you to keep it moving. So a strong bullish divergence, as you can see. What is bull div? When you got to swing up on the RSI, swing down on price action. Strong bullish divergence here for Bitcoin on the 1 minute time frame. Is it enough to get us out of this? I'll be honest, I don't know. Lately, they have been dumping and pumping. So you never know. You know, that was a massive dump. They definitely cleared a lot of liquidity there. And the patterns will always kind of teach you what's happening if you just listen. Crazy, the model shined this morning right there and just... That's why I like the 1 minute too. Once the 1 minute is failing, you know, for us to have a big pump today in the daily to move, the 1 minute had to break out and go great. If the 1 minute starts to break down, people say the 1 minute is just noise, but how is it noise? If the 1 minute told you now that the daily and the bigger time frames weren't going to do too well. It's about candle bodies too. You really want to understand your bullish engulfing candle. You know, then you know, tweezer bottoms, tweezer tops, a candle next to another candle, so important. And I am on the all-time history index. I was about to say I must be because the candles didn't match, or whenever they don't match, I'm always like, what is going on here? But we finished our top down. So is it smart to jump into a short right now? That's what someone would ask. Like, is it, can I make money right now shorting the market? I'd say, you know, the odds are higher now that Bitcoin will go lower throughout the day. You know what I mean? So I would say, you know, there's, you know, but it's also a Friday. What I mean by that is, you know, when I trade, I like to put a stop loss. I like to set parameters. When there's lower volume, market's a lot harder to trade. And that means when there's less participants on the order book, right? When it's not as cut and dry as it normally should be. I'm trying to think if my chair got pushed down. One of my kids possibly, yeah, because the pocket square was lower than yesterday. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. How could that be? Unless my camera actually moved down, which is possible. Maybe just some, you know, over time, some gravity. Gravity. You know, you always look for reversal patterns. What are the reversal patterns? Shoulder, head, right shoulder, check. Double bottom, check. Adam and Eve, check. Sometimes just a V-shaped recovery, but usually it looks like an inverted with some side shoulders. Otherwise, you keep making descending triangles, lower. You know, M patterns, lower. Head and shoulders, lower. You see? So like when you look at this, you can kind of, it's almost kind of, I've been seeing this recently where it's like, they don't give you the left shoulders, but it looks like a head and shoulder pattern. Well, that's annoying. My Control Z has been switched to just shifting the entire screen. That's going to be fun. It'll go back to normal randomly, and I know it's probably some little thing I got to just... So those are all your bearish patterns. These are your bullish reversal patterns. So like you're looking for this to kind of turn into an Adam and Eve, right? So, and you speculate. The more you speculate on pattern trading, the better you get at it, meaning the more you kind of play with this idea. All these ideas, but like, see, this is an idea that we'd be making an inverted, you know, well, it's called an inverted head and shoulder pattern. Adam and Eve pattern. Inverted Adam and Eve, right? Inverted Adam and Eve, we get this move up. Boom. We go through the gap up to here, all the way up to 77,000, right? Crazy bottom call. Do you jump on in a long right now? Do you stay in a long? What if you were in a long right now that you were underwater? Do you hang out? All right. What's going on, everybody? How y'all feeling today out here in crypto land? Let me take a look at the chat here. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Shano. Spot accumulation. See the positive in the not so positive. The bank gets a holiday. Bitcoin gets a mood swing. Yeah, I'll keep closing and opening along at the bottom. More Bitcoin keeps dropping. Interesting. Breaking out of the pattern. One hour long, up, day long, random swing trade. You can only use cross on BTCC, not my preference. Pump or dump, but you can just use a stop loss, man. It doesn't matter. If you use a stop loss, then the cross doesn't matter. You know? It gives you low liquidations. How's that? You know what I mean? Feeling great, boss. Shout out to Underground Cryptos, man. My financial advisor says 60K is and was the bottom for Bitcoin. Your thoughts, Sam? I agree. I was 90% sure that was the bottom for BTCC. We made double bottom there at 65,000. When the fear and greed hit 5 and the stochastics are low in the 2-week chart, notoriously has been a bottom. I've called like 3 of them now. So, again, I could be wrong, but my track record says that I'm correct. I give it a 90% chance. However, I'm open-minded all the time, and I can still see how we could see 54,000, and I could see 27. I have to be honest. I don't know where the bottom is. The indicators tell me there's a high probability. The indicators that I use to find bottoms and that I've used to buy bottoms in the past, I've actually opened the bank account and done it. They show me that there's a high, like over a 90% chance we bottom. So I got to tell you, my strategies say yes. So if they're wrong, then I got to say, hey, But I go one day at a time, one step at a time. I mean, that's an obvious short, right? That's going to collapse down. How is that not going to dump? It's kind of a head and shoulder. It's kind of cat ears. It's kind of twisted cat ears. So that tells you right now you're going lower. Still got this strong bull div, though, that say, hey, no, you're going to curve your way out of this. I don't think so. I see 76,800 coming. Or even lower than that. Sorry, I mean 76.5. Attempting to stop the pain here. Possible double bottom. The 1 minute can dig in. This is crazy. December will get the bottom. Fridays are usually sell day. In the past, you said you would wait for weekly bullish divergence for the bottom. Not this time. I like what you said in the weekly bull div on the bottom. It's a good point. Let's discuss that for a second. But that's a really good point. I mean, it's a good thing to do, but it's like once every 5 years. We did get it, and yeah, you're right. It's been a while. It would make sense. I just saw the other two strong indicators on top of it. The fear and greed at 5, man, twice. I just never seen it in my life. Like, it was the lowest I've ever seen it. That's a dump right there. I don't know. Fridays sketch me out trading high leverage on those small time frames. Maybe the daily or something like that. But, by about 11, 12 o'clock, things get weird on a Friday. I tell you what. I've seen so much strange behavior. The Ichimoto cloud is signaling that the bottom is not in. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, no, stochastics. Well, that's how I do it. Yeah, you're right. No, but I do it with the RSI, not the 100%. No, but facts. You're spot on, man. And I love that you clarified that because I'm a detail guy, and I love when people are detailed because it lets me know that they're paying attention to what I'm paying attention to. So I appreciate that. So interesting, huh? I mean, it's got a bull divergence. See, like you see, there's an uptrend on the RSI, downtrend here. Usually tells me that we're getting lower in. What that tells you is cumulative volume delta is shifted. See, divergence is divergence. Like it even affects, the delta. It also, what it does is it says, hey, this many people have been liquidated already. We liquidated them. Then we went after the late ones. We got both batches. Right? That's why knowing divergence is so key. It's where most people get caught. Technically, that should be a buy right now, and we should fly. You should be able to enter right now on the red candle, and that should wick back up and boom. Technically. This should just bring. 10 minutes from now, we should be up here based on Divi. To me, it looks kind of more descending. I know we got the divergence, but the price action looks so bearish. And Michael Saylor bought more Bitcoin at 80,000 yesterday, right? Or 2 days ago. It's like crazy. I'll be honest, that looks bearish to me. I see the divergence, but sometimes divergence just is only as good as support or resistance. Like, it got the bounce. You could say there was the divergence, and that's all we got. We got to bounce up. You will get a bounce. Up there it goes. Hard to tell. Tough decision even on the 1 minute. Shout out to the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. I would greatly appreciate it as we enter this crazy summer, man. Summer's going to be nuts. We got to stick together this summer, I'll tell you what. Attending a tweezer bottom of the 15-minute. Moon soon, trust me, brother. Hopium copium. He says moon soon, so I'm going to go all in on what you said, all right? As an experiment. We'll see if what you say is correct. I'll go all in on it, all right? I'm just joking, but let's see. He says for sure we're going to moon. Don't do this at home. But again, that doesn't mean I'm not going to get stopped out before we moon, right? It's like, it's a strong bull divvy, though. This is how you try to and again, this is way against my what I usually do. I never do stuff like this. Way against all my principalities. 77,120 would be the target. Stop loss would be at 76,700. 159 for 293 and 2 to 1. Why am I getting 3 there? I'm getting a 3 to 1 there. They're shifting price a little bit. Oh, it's pumping too, man. Look, it's a double bottom. You see the double bottom? It's a 2 to 1 trade. It's actually like the worst trade I've ever seen. I can't seem to get a 3 to 1 out of it, even though it looks like I got the numbers right. 77,120. Oh, wow. Now it looks, it's like head and shoulder-esque. I'll be honest, Bitcoin looks bearish on the bigger time frames, which tells me that there's more downside coming. And you just got to let the smaller time frames basically agree with that idea. Now overbought stochastics curving. You're like, Sam, you can go back and forth quickly. You have to be. Like, that's what I've learned. Like, the old me couldn't do that. I would have to be like, oh, come along. Then an hour later, maybe I'm short. Now I can kind of, I just sit with price action. I'm looking for subconscious tells that I've seen in my lifetime now. I've watched this price action so much, I'm starting to see, you know what I mean? I'm waiting for it to tell me things. I did not enter a trade yet. We're trading live on BTCC right now if we do make the trade. Sometimes you get diverted. It's barely enough to get you over the 21 before it continues. It's kind of like this one. They both want to bump here to prevent the short signal on the daily. It's a battle right now. So now price action's been in a range 77.78 between 76.7 and 76.8. Literally $100 range since 10:30. 10:20, 40-minute range right now we've been in for price action here. You would long it. Bitcoin says to long that puppy. you just blindly short it. Says you short this, you should make the monkeys. So you get to 76.3 though, at least, right? Extend that. Stop loss at 768. Remember, to do that, you just got to flip it the other way. And you'll hit the button open short. So your take profit's going to be 76.3. I'm not doing this yet. You know, before you buy a house, you got to walk through it, right? Before you buy a trade, you got to take a look at it. You got to ask yourself if it's the trade you want. If this keeps disappearing, you don't like that, hit the settings and just kind of scroll down to always show stats inside of style. And this will stay on screen. I like it on screen. Some people don't. 76.879. Dang, I just missed it. I'm always like right on it. Lately, I've been like, this has happened to me on the stream like the whole week. Like I'm about to put in the short and it just moves so, like that's too much of a risk now for me. It changes the entire trade. It's like it's almost like a 10th through the profit already. Ah, man. I just needed like an extra 30 seconds. Like, all right, we gave it to you. We're back in the pattern now. There you go. You can take the trade now. I'm like, okay. Sketchy business, right? You'd say it's now a real strong divergence, but Sam, you need your cigar to trade. I know that's true, bro. I agree with that. 100%. I mean, now you do have an even stronger bull div. This is what I call an extended bullish divergence. This is where you can get the complex head and shoulders, right? Now you can get a shoulder. You know, you can. I'm not saying we will. This is what could build the possible move. Now that wick up and down means we kind of go right back down and dump. Just could be a bearish retest of this bottom trend line. Stochastic's low gives you some hype there. And again, Fridays, I don't trust Fridays on the low volume. Very sketchy days to be alive. Very sketchy days to trade alive. Stay grateful, amen. You know, the key of this life is to stay grateful no matter what. You know, at a meeting this morning with my staff and my team, and someone very close to me said, "Hey man, you used to dream about 1,000 viewers, man, and now you have that dream, bro. This was your dream back when you had 200 people, 100 people, even 300, you know." So I got to remind myself on any given day, man, I'm living my dream, right? And that's and it's only because of you awesome people. Like, you dedicate your time to this show, and I actually have a show. Like, to me, I'm so humbled by the whole experience. I never want to, I want to cradle it like gold, baby, or like a fragile vase. I never want to lose it. I'm very excited for the show in the future and what could happen. And thank you to Google, thank you to YouTube, thank you to everyone that makes this possible. The algo and all that fun stuff, man. I'm just excited. So I always want to repeat and remind how grateful I am for everything. I truly, the business is great. I never started this for the money. I started it for the business of just being in the business of being online. What came of that was whatever came of it, I'm excited that what's happening is awesome, So look, that's how you build what's called a complex inverted head and shoulder. See, I've avoided a lot of pitfalls the last 1 minute. A lot of people jumped into the short late and got smashed. A lot of people jumped into the long and got smashed late. A lot of people are going to, now what? Now they're going to, they'll see what they're going to do here now. So I observe the 1 minute a lot. You might observe the 1 minute for 2 weeks straight and then make one trade on the third week. It might be because of all the observations you made the 2 weeks prior that helped you make the trade. We don't realize how much our observations have to do with trading We think that we're always trading when we're trading, but you may be winning a trade right now in your mind by collecting the data that's going to give you the move. And it's true because look, first you're a mind that has no information. You're just watching trading. You don't know anything. You're just taking it in, just like you're watching a baseball game or a football game. You're just like my show. You're watching my show today. You may not be someone that's used to watching cryptocurrency shows. You're like, this is one of your first times, right? So you're like, okay, you're just taking it in. But, 2 years from now, things that you're watching today are going to be how you get into a trade. You're going to maybe using a moving average, a 21. There's going to be something you do, and you may not know it consciously, but one day you'll look back and be like, okay, all my years of watching have helped me do this. Of course. And the practice of doing it, you've done it as you watched it. And that's the key, right? Finally shaved. It's been a while, I know. Sorry about that. Well, I don't know why I'm sorry. I should never apologize. Someone told me never apologize on your show, Sammy. I get you, man. This white line is the point of control. It's kind of annoying, but it's it shows a resistance line. So strong bull divvy came into play here. Can I long the bull div? I mean, I used to do it all the time. Real sketchy. You can long the bullish divergence back to the 200 moving average, right? At least. That's your hope. You might get rejected. Oh, dude, I swear. It's just uncannily strange how fast these candles are moving. The second I'm about to I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a long with my stop below the divergence. And bang. Watch them fake this one down. They faked this one up, down, then they faked it up. They faked this one up. Are they going to fake it down? The divergence says no. The divergence says we should wick this candle and continue to pump. That's good divergence there on the 1 minute. So you're always looking for and that could be your daily bottom. That divergence could end up becoming the daily bottom. Wow, that was a good move for Bitcoin from 76.6 all the way back up to 76.9. Again, I would have had heavy leverage with the $76,000 position just to make $200. Think about it, to make $1,000 in that move, you had a 5x, you would have to be in a $350,000 position. I was right, it was an inverse flag on the 1 minute. Mark Cuban has capitulated. He said in an interview that he has sold. I know, we saw that. Guy makes no sense to me. And again, that's great. He wasn't into Bitcoin like we were. Right? I'll be hanging in Bitcoin. My daughters get my Bitcoin. The fact that he took his Bitcoin away from his future generations, that's like selling Manhattan real estate because the rent you didn't make enough rent yet. You know what I mean? About 10 years ago, let me tell you a story. In 1983, there was a boom in Manhattan, okay? Buildings were getting built. It was amazing, right? Before that, 1987 and things were awesome. They were booming. It was the top of the market. It's 1971. All right, new air conditioning came out, new things were moving, and it was the top of the market in Manhattan. And people said, I got to buy some Manhattan. People said, you're buying the top. And they said, okay, and they bought it. 1980 came around. The price of things in Manhattan were way more expensive than in 1970. And there was a boom, and everyone said, this is the top. And people said, I'm buying Manhattan real estate. People said, you're buying the top. You know what happened in 1990? Yeah, there was a crash in 1987, gave some good prices. Well, back by 1991, that real estate was up again. And if you bought Manhattan real estate in 1991, people said, hey, man, you're buying the top. You should wait for a pullback. But that's Manhattan real estate. People consider it the best place to live. I mean, it really is. You can walk out of one of the fanciest, nicest, most luxurious hotels in the world and then eat at all different types of restaurants all around the world. You can go to Broadway shows. You know what I mean? You can get the culture, the experience. Anyway, I lived in New York 20 years. As vicious as it was in some areas, it was also very cultural and beautiful in others. I have to give it to you. And I'm not just saying this. Some people, I don't want to live in a city anymore. I'm done. But other people believe it's one of the greatest cities to live in. I think around the world, people agree it's one of the greatest cities to live in. If you're bullish, you're going to make some type of pattern here that's going to get us out of this divergence. You're going to dig in. Could be a nice little bounce pattern here to the upside. It's going to be tough, though. So let me keep telling the story. So 1991 goes around, and then people buy the top of Manhattan real estate. And then 2000 came around. And let's say right before, at least the Twin Towers, but, and if you had bought that real estate in 1971 at the top, 1980, 1990, you'd be in the money, right? And people said, you know what, I'm going to buy some real estate in 2005. They said, this is the top, Manhattan. And now it's 2010. And so I'm going to buy some Manhattan real estate. People said, this is the top, man. You're buying the top. And then 2000, you get my point, right? Now it's 2026 and someone's going to go buy some Manhattan real estate. You know what they're going to tell them? You're buying the top. You're buying the top, and you know what it's going to be. It's not going to be the top. And then by 2040, whoever bought Manhattan real estate today is likely going to be in, the only thing that sketches me out is the population decline. But I believe we have enough conglomerated individuals and enough people that procreate enough, and there's still scarce real estate in Manhattan that it might not affect real estate. But I don't know. This is a good, what do you guys think? Could population decline affect the real estate price of Manhattan? Or am I just like really thinking way too far out the box? I don't have the data on it. You know what I mean? Someone said New York is wrong. That's another thing, though. New York is losing some of its flair due to its political stances. Mondani's mom, whatever, she was with Epstein every single, she's in pictures with Epstein all over the place. I don't know. Whatever it is, I don't know what that means. I just, you could verify it. Pretty sure it's verifiable. I don't want to start rumors, so check it out yourself. But you could say everyone was doing that, but she was next to him on boats. She seemed to always be right next to him. It was kind of weird. They were buddied up. I don't know. Who knows what I have no idea what I'm talking about. The little bears, little teddy bears. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Teddy bears again, Sam. Always love those little teddy bears. Knicks winning the chip, though. Dude, if Knicks win the chip, I'll be so happy for them. I lived in New York City for so long, and I lived in Boston, and Boston always won so much when I lived in New York. And I would always go back home for the parades, and it would be awesome. Just clearing the air here so I can see things clearly. So there's a bull div. We got the bounce. Rejection at 76.9. Nasty fall, nasty dump over here, Still seeing if this could create some type of bounce. There is the 21-day moving average here. That, if you're going to bounce, you're bouncing off the 21 and support. If you're going to bounce, you got to bounce here. This is it. Otherwise, you're going to crumble lower. And what it could do, actually, is it could become a complex head and shoulder the other way. Then you get another descender kind of, and this thing will just roll right over, right? Let's look at Bookmap, which keeps telling us that it's going to liquidate the above channel, 78.5. It has more red above us, but again, it doesn't mean it's going to happen for sure. As I've always said, 10% of the time, it doesn't read correct. 90% of the time, it does. But that means 100% of the time it isn't right. Weird, huh? Or does it? Wait, I can't say that. No, 100% of the time, you can't guarantee that it's right. That's what yeah. It's right 90% of the time, but it's not right 100% of the time. So therefore, it's not always right. Interesting. So what do you do with that data? Well, that's trading, and that's why you have to have proper risk management. This looks so whack. And look, you got to track it in real time if you really want to understand what's happening to price action. Now, some could say, I got it. I know you said it. I know. Wait. Before you type it in, could there be a diamond forming? There's a possible chance. We got a diamond in the rough here. Could they make a diamond? A diamond is a beautiful reversal pattern. It comes with this, but usually the whipsaw is a bit more paralleled up and down. Did anyone else see the diamond? Was I the only one to see a diamond Write diamond in the chat if you saw the diamond. Write diamond in the chat if you saw the diamond. Let me know if you saw the diamond here. I'm sure I wasn't the only one. Kevin Ono, Bance Leary. He says 75K incoming. Yeah. Former market maker here. I shine like a diamond, like a diamond. Funny. Shout out to Vagus Claw in the house. Thank you for being here. Not gonna lie, didn't see anything. Hey, that's cool. 75 incoming, says Raw Trader. Osmo ripping, as you called it. This guy asked me to go over it every day recently. Remember? Osmo. Let's take a look at Osmo. Little rippage. Nothing crazy. Well, hey, a little pumpage though. Hey, it got something going. Wow, look at this price action on the 1 minute, huh? And we're making sense of this stuff. Live here on BTCC, can we make the diamond pattern with the bounce off the low stochastics high or low? Not going to make two right shoulders that just take a lump on price action here. As we hang our heads high and stay inside. Yeah, a lot of liquidations at 75,000. Psychological level. Look at the beam me up, Scotty. It may just be a diamond in the rough, eh? Wouldn't that be amazing? Basically an hour and a half from now at the most, something like this, and you're crushing it to that 200 moving average. Just beam me up, Scotty. Wow, I mean, it's a monstrous pump right there off that low. They definitely went and snatched anyone that put a stop loss below the resistance. See, they're going after supporter resistance traders. They're going after everybody, man. This is vicious price action on the 1 minute. And people are still, you know what it is? We got prediction markets. We got leverage. And that's, I think I'm the voice of reason here to tell you to take a chill sometimes, to take a break. It's okay not to overtrade. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. You can not be in that trading day that day. You don't have to be a part of it every single day. Matter of fact, I encourage, as someone that can't take a day off because that's my business and I'm here 7 days a week and I'm basically the product, right? I'm basically the sign in front of the store. You know what I mean? So I'm basically a sign in front of a store. You never take the sign off the front of the store, right? Like, welcome, come on in, whatever, open. And so I encourage you to take a little more time off than I get a chance to. So, yeah, because, it's good for you. It's good for you. If you want to join the trading group, hit the QR code up there at cryptolifer.com. Find out more. Given some amazing calls in the last few weeks, including that hyper liquid call. Gave a real good track of where it was going, how it was going to go there, and even gave you a really good target before a lot of other people even kind of showed it. But hyper liquid here, you know what I mean, on 518, 1 hour looking bullish. And I was talking about it on the live stream more than that too, just showing you, hyper liquid's been strong. There was a cup and handle right there suggesting it was going to shoot up. And that thing went up to the $62 level, right? So that played out beautifully. You can launch the chart from here and then just see that thing launch. Look at that weekly candle. And again, it's been in a beautiful uptrend ever since January. Like, it just started to grow since 26. I got into Hyperliquid earlier, sold it in the 60s. And was it like, I couldn't have sold it in the 60s. Sold it in like 55, 58. I sold it up in here. And then I sold a bunch of it at 40. Was done. And then I haven't gotten back into it since on my long-term holding because, I don't know, it was born to hold too for a long time. Then I saw it slowly dip and I was like, it's... And I decided Aster, I believe if Hyperliquid's going to lead the way and get so big, I feel like Aster will do a multiple. Hyperliquid has to go to 590 to 10x. You're telling me Aster can't get to $6.70? You see what I mean? So it's I like to play the structured idea of the bigger play, right? But look how overbought we are on the weekly. You know, and then you look at the 5-day chart, you're away from that 21. You've been riding the stochastics for a while. You're hitting the dotted line. 3-day chart too there. I mean, that's away from the 21. And we showed you the 1 hour with bear div. I tell you what, though, I've seen this. This is an interesting pattern that I've been seeing lately. Not saying it's going to happen, but I keep it open. If it squiggles around in there, then there's a chance you get a push up. If it does push to 70, I feel like that's going to be the major crash. So we're looking at possible cat ears. I didn't give up on this idea just yet. So basically, you would short the loss of this trend line down somewhere in here with a stop maybe back in the pattern, let that thing dump. It consolidates. There's a chance you go in here with a stop below here and let that puppy pump. That way you say, hey, it could go either way. I'm going to take advantage of whatever happens. I'm not going to tell myself exactly what Hyperliquid's going to do, though. Right? I'm not going to claim I know. I'm just going to take it one step at a time. I think that's a beautiful thing, right? I love that way of looking at trades. I think that, to me, is key. When I see a student do that, talk in that nature, I know they're on to something. When I see a student tell me they're doing whatever they want, it's going to go, you know, it has to be, or they're talking like, just like they know exactly what's happening. I'm always like, okay, there's that arrogant, like, ego in there that may or may not get them wrecked, but it's there, you know. I want to throw some names at you. You might want to write down that I believe are going to be bigger either later on. If we do have, I'm not saying anything's going to happen, but if we do have any type of alt season, even just alternative market to Bitcoin, right? Let's call it, like, you know, we don't have to have a full-blown alt season. We could just have somewhat of an alternative market to Bitcoin. How could AI, look, do you have decentralized AI agents? How is that not going to be a play? You know, agentic AI, decentralized agentic AIs, right? But, you know, there's a couple coins I want to put on your radar. One of them is called Sapien, all right? And no, I did not get paid to do this. I don't know the crew at Sapien. You know, I don't get into that like that. I'm just someone that, like, loves to research coins, and I don't have anyone to talk to about it besides you guys. Like, not on a daily basis. So when I see something, I say something, if that's okay with y'all. So, and I think all the shills are gone at this point. Like, it's pretty clear I'm not a shill. I've been here every single day for 5 years without a day off. Shills come when the market's hot. They live stream, like, more often when the market's hot. And then they live stream, like, once or twice a week when the market's, you know what I mean? Because they're like, well, you know what I mean? Real people are here at least 3, 4, 5 times a week. You know what I mean? Like my man Casper every day. You know what I mean? My man Tom Crown 3 days. He doesn't stop. Like, you know, these are real people. Crypto Face, real dude. Me, Casper, real people. Like, I respect all those people. There's a bunch of people the other people I don't even know who they are. So it doesn't, you know. Look, another symmetrical triangle. They mainly do what? They break to the downside. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. You can see it. It's not perfect. They breached the first trend line, but I mean, that's a head and shoulder pattern. Kind of like a liquidity grab at the beginning of it. The divergence is as strong as the resistance. And we can't seem to get back above 76.8. The 800s are strong. That looks like you're going to dump. By the time I've decided that, though, things shift. Look at this. I mean, it's very hard to get a. Oh man, they dumped it the second I decided to go short. Look, the second I switched over, boom, they brought it down $100. The most accurate guy on TA that can't quick draw fast enough. Like, trying to quick draw extremely quick. You know what I mean? It's like, where is my quick draw, man? What happened to my fast action? I got to get faster. Nasty bear flag. I don't see how you don't go to 76, 275. Headed lower, baby. Still a strong bull div. This is interesting, right? See, look at this. That's still a strong bull divergence now. Like, they're just really toying with this idea. Bear flag, broke it out, broke it back inside, dumped it. High stochastics, low stochastics. Low stochastics, high stochastics. We short on high stochastics. We long on low stochastics. This is the stochastics RSI. Don't be afraid. How to add it to your chart on BTCC, on weeks, wherever you're trading. They all have the TradingView widget. It'll be the same. Hit RSI. Click RSI and stochastic. I use them together. I don't use Connors. Me and Connor don't hang. I like Connor. It's a good Irish name. No offense to Connor. I just don't use the Connors, you know. Again, that's a random name. I don't know who the person is. I'm just joking around. Because there are some Connors and is he talking about that Connor? No. Wow, I'm still seeing some action in these altcoins, but they're going to struggle with Bitcoin. They are. Wow, this is crazy here. It's definitely treachery on a Friday. What do you got? What is everybody doing out here in the chat? Are you surviving? Are you thriving? Are you riding? Grab some Aster to get faster, your friend. Are you enjoying the stream? Show your appreciation. Thank you, Nightbot. Eden still wants more. Dude, Eden's been on fire. Right? Oh, no. I know. Bears ran out of honey. Now they're eating us alive. Yeah. XPR has a gas-free agent to agent transactions with a full stack of tools to build your AI agent. Short, baby. I shorted Bitcoin. How many people made a short and are in the gains? Right? We go to 32 to 38,000. Oof. It's countered in French, which is, no. I'm trusting my setup, looking for those longs to pay me out. I love you, man. I love this guy. He's kind of like me, like, nope. I'm just going to wait for the long. I'm just going to, because that's the thing. If you're a long trader, there's a long trade today to be had. If you're a short trader, there's a short trade. You stick to your system. I like the 21 below the 200, which usually tells you what to do. Or the 21 above the 200. And after doing all the TS, sit there, I erase it all. I look at what we're seeing. Like, what's going on here? I mean, this is wacky bull div. It's strong bull divergence, though. I mean, it's elongated bullish div. Thought we had it there, though. Now maybe we actually get it. I'm attempting to make any sense of the pattern, but it's actually a very strange reversal. You think here, I'm using my brain. I don't want to, you might see some smoke come out of my ears. You know, that makes sense here. Like, we could rally down and just roll over into a descending triangle. I just had a strange memory back when I was waiting outside a bagel shop in Oswego. Anyone from Oswego? Oswego, right? You guys, who knows where Oswego is? Anyone, you know what I mean? You know where the mobile gas station is? It's near a Dunkin' Donuts. You're like, well, that's in every town. I know, right? Dude, but everyone else is watching red candles on the 1 hour freaking out right now. Like, they just like, they can't really, like, you know what I mean? And they're like, they're in and out and they're flicking. And, you know, some people are in trades, out of trades. Right now in the last hour, you know how many people went in and out of trades? And emotionally closed or opened and just got crazy, bro. They love that stuff, man. They love when people get emotional over their trades. It's just like, it's how it works. You know what I'm saying? Gotta stay calm, cool, and collected. Every trade's part of a bigger data set. Every day is part of a bigger data set. Same with business. Doesn't mean sometimes you might get a panic sensation. You might feel a little bit. Your emotions might get the best of you. It happens to all of us as humans. That's when you go to your you go to your breakthroughs. You go to what you've been using. For me, jacuzzi, a cigar, relaxation, and even just, you don't need, out breathing techniques. Just breathe. Hold your breath for 90 seconds. They say that creates a growth hormone immediately because your body thinks it's like dying, really, and it actually creates something in you and helps you regenerate. Very interesting concepts that I've been researching recently. Colostrum, all sorts of craziness. The Bears came up with $100 short of my stomp on my daily trade. Nice try, Bears. Hey, don't taunt them, Sean. Don't taunt them, Shawnee. And is that Shawnee Bitcoins, man? My eyes on that 4-hour chart. Dude, there were so many people in the space that I used to watch. Wasn't it Shawnee Bitcoin? Wasn't that his name? Shawnee Bitcoins? Yeah. Yes, he hasn't made a video in a year now, man. Shawnee Bitcoin. This kid had more subscribers than me. He had like 5,000 subscribers. I had like 1,000. And I was like, let's collab. You know what I mean? Because I was just researching. I was like, what do? You collab. And I used to collab with this dude. Look, I quit crypto after 6 years, lost millions. He used to go so hard into coins. And I'd always be like, whoa. I don't know. You know what I mean? But hey, man, you learn so much on your journeys. Funny, dude, this is unusual price action for me personally. It's very, like we didn't make the right shoulder here. We usually do that. I'm attempting to make more sense of it. What I love about it is the divergence did play out over time, though. It just was an extended form. Very long extended form of divergence. But you had a swing down price-wise, swinging up RSI, and it made it difficult to engage, I have to be honest. 3-day was stronger. 5-day was even better to pay attention to. So the 5-day divergence really came through on for you there. I mean, right? Because that one I can't use wickage there. There was a little bit there, but they went after the first people that long divergence, they schooled you. Like, it's crazy. So if you were a humble trader that waited for your divergence here, and you decided to long like right about there, which I almost did. You guys saw me, right? I was close. Kevin Warsh. Yeah. Kevin Warsh being sworn in right now. It should be somewhat bullish for the day. You know what I mean? In the comfort room. Trump participates in Kevin Warsh's swearing ceremony. Oh, interesting. Swearing in ceremony. Swearing in. Nothing's going on right now. They're just showing. There's nothing happening right now. Just so you know. I'll keep you guys privy. But I mean, do we really need to watch him getting sworn in? Like, we get it. We get it. Right? We completely understand, he's being sworn in. There he is. I see him, Kevin Warsh. He's sitting in the front. He can't wait. It's the biggest deal since the biggest deal. Funny, all Chinese writing inside of the chat. It's weird, right? They got like bots and AP. Yeah, it's so weird. 5-minute engulfing looking. Yeah, I mean, that is a nice engulfing candle. I'll give that to you. With some bullish divergence. Let's take a look at the 15-minute bullish engulfing candle with a reversal possible. What we're looking for is a massive inverted head and shoulder. That saves the day. And then we clear that liquidity. I can't believe we didn't clear $79,000 liquidity. It just was too red and it was so much up. It was so juicy up there. Maybe they just felt like they could get more. Like it could attract more if they just kept juicing the price, you know. So look, we got stochastics pointing up. Possible bull div. We may have found the daily bottom here at about 76,550, but we'll see. 76,500 would be psychological support for the bottom on that daily. So that's just something that you have to see. Yeah. Make America stock great. You're funny. That's what people were saying in the chat. It's all Chinese writing in the AP stock, in the AP chat, which is weird. Yeah. Are you enjoying the stream? Show your appreciation and hit the like button. Thank you. Shout out to Mohammed. God bless you, man. Thank you. Hold your tongue to the roof of your mouth while you hold your breath for even more healthy effects. Rude people in the chat. I don't even see rude people, man. I only know good people. Yeah. When you're high frequency, I'm protected from the dark energy, and I'm willing to go to war if I have to. And I can bring my sword, behold the pale white horse. You know what I mean? I'm ready to go. I can joust with the best of them. But I don't have to, you know, it doesn't exist to me until it's a threat. If it's a threat, fine. That's completely different. But I don't see low frequency individuals. Yeah, they don't exist to me. It's very similar to being, once you're on a high frequency, it's like, I can't explain. It's kind of like cottage cheese or like a sifter. Only the good sifts through. The bad can't make it. Or the other way around. The bad sifts out. Yeah. All the bad sifts right out, and only the goods remain. Yeah. Stop loss of the monthly trade, 77,000. Oh, the stop loss of the monthly trade, it's got to be like 68.5. Let's see. I don't look at it every day, because that's like, if you look at a monthly trade every day, you're going to cause problems. You got to just let it do its thing. I've moved the stop loss to break even at about 71,373. 71,157 now. Liquidation was 59,000. And I could pull that off if I want and let it hang again, but it's a really choppy price action here. If anything, look, it's a broadening falling wedge, right? Which can be look like I call these a squawk candle, right? Like it's like, you can say, well, it fell out the trend line, came back inside, still a bearish flag. You want to open it up, you could say, here, fine, back to the bottom of the channel. And what it is, it's a backwards sideways, you know what I mean? The other way. Here's the deal too. I mean, now you're like, okay, if you really want to play that game, like, could you be doing a better diamond now? A more, you know, a more structured diamond. Which it very well may. This makes more sense now. And then you may be able to break out of the diamond later on today. See, but it is going to be a symmetrical triangle yet again later on, and then you're going to have a 50%. And if it dumps, I mean, that's what happens most of the time. So, wow, I mean, look at this. This is insane. Yeah. I put 50K in Stark, leaving it for the next 2 years. I like it. I like it. And here's the bounce. Let's cook. Upstate New York by Lake Ontario. Sounds amazing. Let's go, Pumperoni. Hey. The bear trend is the bear trend, yeah? Honestly, it looked more bullish. Bitcoin looked more bullish last night. It's really weak. This monthly candle is not as weak for me. It's really gonna, what happens at the end of this month is gonna be a big deal. The next 9 days are huge for the next 6 months. Bitcoin comes back on that monthly candle. That changes the entire narrative. Bitcoin loses that monthly candle is red. I mean, it's over. It is over. My humble opinion, the odds are like we're going lower. 54, 60, at least to the double bottom at 60K that we saw before, right? Funny. Yeah, I'm not that's looking like a diamond yet again. Let's look at it again with fresh eyes. Dude, look at that. Look at the price action. It's just absurd. They're gonna get everybody. Like, you're gonna trade either way. We're gonna go get here, we're gonna get you there, we're gonna get you there, we're gonna That's some of the wackiest stuff I've ever seen. And we look at the 1 minute every day for thousands of days. And this one is a very strange one. I'm happy I'm not trading this because I would have been, I guess I could have gotten in and out right there above the 21 and then, but dang, man, that is, all I see is a trend line here, a trend line there. And again, that'll square us back away into yet another symmetrical. I mean, this is what they're doing. And again, bank holiday on Monday, Memorial Day weekend, the signature of, basically a lower volume summer. It just starts to again, but last May was insane. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. We got crazy run-ups. It was a very insane month. So, and this month has been nothing but This month has crazy volatility. I mean, look at this on the 1 minute. Attempting to make any sense of this. There's one idea, but you'd have to bounce very soon. And all I'm doing is drawing two trend lines. Like I'm attempting to find 2 points of connection. That's all. Technically, you got this trend line here. You got this trend line here. I keep seeing this, which is a broadening wedge. And they can act as bear flags too and just continue to go lower. I don't see why we wouldn't extend to 75.9. This is very hard to trade. I'm just sitting here like, well, whatever, Previous, you got a rejection, previous support, and you could, you came right to it. So technically, that's not that difficult. I mean, previous resistance, you buy the support, you buy the resistance right there. Stop loss above that high. But who knew the 1 minute? It's. I wouldn't be surprised if they run this right back up again, because why not? I mean, they ran it up, they ran it down. They ran it up, they ran it down. They'll run it up now. Exactly. None of what he just said makes any sense. I love you, George, but no, it's just untrue. But again, whatever you want to believe is what you believe. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Liquidity grab, partial wick, fill, and up we go. Funny, I love people talk about it like it's so simple, and I've been doing it for years, and I can't talk about it like that. So I'm like, what do you know that's, I just know that people like to tell themselves they know what's happening. It's easier to tell yourself you know what's going on than to admit you don't. So most people have to admit, for me, I found solace in being vulnerable and telling myself the facts. Like, man, I don't know this just yet. I've gotten out of the sticky situations by asking myself how to get out of them and knowing I don't know it all. If I was a know-it-all, I probably would have been still stuck in those situations, right? So I've learned to tell myself I don't know nothing. I'm not putting myself down, and I'm not saying I'm dumb. What I'm saying is I must stay open-minded no matter what. That's really what that whole scenario means, that mentality. Keeping the open-mindedness is important to make it. So important. Let's talk about ZBCN, which we've had a liking to in this. We've been trading this on and off for about a year now, right? Had a huge run up there in April, right, of 2025. It's crazy. From like way less than a penny to, it basically did about a 10x. What you're looking for here is for the daily to consolidate. A nice, big, chubby 2-week consolidation. I would say this might be a great place to DCA. But you want to see one of these, and then you want to see this bigger move up, right? And you look right, and you see where you've had previous resistance. That's where profit taking will occur. And you say, hey, so a buy here, and then, maybe a partial, and you see if you can let another one run to 0.7, 007. No guarantees of any of this happening. What I do is I start to speculate on this, and I observe the coin. I create projections and watch with observation. If the observation fills out, we take the move. If not, we don't take the move. All right? I'm thinking we need to get off the 1 minute for divergence. The fall percent has increased so much now. I say 70% have been falling over the past week. No. See, what you don't understand is that's what's supposed to happen when you're in a downtrend. Yeah. And I don't trade 1 minute divergence. I stopped doing that a long time ago. I use it to watch where the price action's going. You know what I mean? Like, I'll watch it, but I wait for that 21-day moving average to crack. On the 5-second, the 30-second, first you got to get above it on the 5-second chart, which you did. Look, we even have the model right there. It did not play out. 30-second needs to get back above. First thing that has to happen is the 1 second. There's the model on the 1 second. We should pump. It's funny. I like the 1 minute as my first starting point, but dude, that's some of the weirdest price action I've ever seen on the 1 minute in a long time. I got to look at the 5 minute to see what I'm even looking at. I keep seeing a backwards. It's weird. Only thing I can make sense of is these broadening, kind of falling wedges here. Oh, and what makes the most sense, actually, right, is let's not forget, is the diamond pattern. On like the 3 minute, yeah, even the 1 minute. 3 minute makes the most sense, though, I feel like. It looks like a diamond to me. And diamonds, if they come in from the top, they usually break out the top. So the idea is you'll go in, you'll hang out, and then this will eventually break back out to this top area. You'll head back to 77.5, right? A bearish megaphone. Love you, Sammy. I'm edge of the charts. I've manipulated confusion the past 4 days. Not always. Thank you for saying that. God bless you, Georgie. Appreciate you for saying that. No, it means a lot to me, man. I never want to offend. I like that we're at a good place, It also, to me, it looks like a bit of a double bottom now. My subconscious mind. See, my subconscious mind starts to work. And you just kind of I just let it do its thing. I let it fill in the blanks that my conscious mind cannot figure out. Because funny, I watched this one thing. This guy says that we're all unconscious beings. We think we're conscious, but we're really getting stimulation from where? Like when you have a thought, now I attempt to control most of my thoughts, and that's when you get into conscious meditation, right? Where you're like, that's when you notice your thoughts go wherever they want. You got to bring them back. Meditation teaches you how to have more discipline over your thought process. I think that's really the main reason for it. You sit there and you're like, you know how I get into meditation? If you ever really want to sit and block, I use this one method that I figured out. I had to do it on my own because my brain does its thing, but I sit there in a dark place. I close my eyes. I don't have to be in a dark place, but I close my eyes and I see black, I see a blank black space in my mind. If you could do that, you clear everything black space, and then I say the thought of thinking, and I let it come out in white words. Thought of thinking, as if I'm watching them. If you're a visual guy, I can like see thought of thinking on a black screen. Then when my mind wants to go anywhere else, I go, no, replay thought of thinking on the black screen. And I kind of like keep playing thought of thinking. Thought of thinking, thought of thinking. And what I realize is what I'm doing is I'm in the thought of thinking when I'm doing that. So my mind tries to think its way out. I go, you're doing what I'm doing, what I'm saying. And I'm like, I am. Thought of thinking. Eventually, a minute, 2 minutes go by, and all I've done is thought of thinking. And I'm able to only I don't let another, I'm sure they come in here and there, but for the most part, I can basically have that thought only for like minutes at a time, and then I can kind of really get into a deeper state of meditation. That's how I started doing it, the thought of thinking. That was my idea, because my brain's going to overthink what I'm thinking about and try to dig into that. So I had to give it itself on top of itself. So when the brain tried to dig in, it digged into the same thing I was doing. So it couldn't get me out of what you know what I mean? So it was like, so I like wind the brain down into its own concepts. Like, wow, it's like the snake biting its tail. It's Nietzsche, right? Crazy, right? Anyway, so I'm going on tangents, but I think that's the point of the show sometimes. Are you enjoying the stream? I hope so. I like that. That's a good one. Thank you. Yeah. When they say good morning, it'll talk. You're funny. Yeah. Bob Frizzell. Interesting. Holotropic breathwork. Okay. I like that. That's not meditation, Sam. That's visualization. Meditation is not to think or see anything, which is impossible. Meditation is quiet the brain. Doing what you always do. You're funny. Shout out to Xenodermis V2. Funny. Is that your bot? Is that Xeno's bot? Sam, I've been watching you for over a year now, and man, I wouldn't be able to go through this market without using your strategy and mentality. I've watched hundreds of traders, but you stood out the most, man. Thank you for saying that. May God bless you, bro. Read the book, Surrendered Experiment. Goes over all of that and the other voices in your head. You said, can we watch Trump and more swearing in? Yeah, I got it up there. Let's see what the man is saying here today.
Former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy. Kevin? Good guy. Former Secretary of State, Condoleezza Rice. Highly respected. Highly respected by everybody. Me too.
Me too.
Former Governor.
You gotta love
Glenn
that. Me
Youngkin.
too.
Done a great job.
I'm not making fun of the president. I'm acting more like
Great
it's
governor of Virginia, and they try and take it apart as fast as they can, but you did a really fantastic job. Thank you very much, Glenn. And many others, tremendously distinguished, the biggest leaders of business and the biggest leaders of politics, other than the ones we mentioned. This is quite an assemblage of talent. I see the Southern District over here. Will you stand up, please, Southern District?
just say
Hey,
Bitcoin,
stand
please.
up.
Right? Look at that. Just say Bitcoin,
And
please.
I don't know if our acting attorney general is here. He's pretty busy. He's kept very busy. So if he is, or if he isn't, I'll just tell you he's doing a very good job working together, right? He's doing a great job, actually. So no one in America is better prepared to lead the Federal Reserve than Kevin Warsh. Kevin received a degree in public policy from Stanford University and then earned a JD from Harvard Law School. He studied under the renowned economist Milton Friedman and was mentored by the legendary Secretary of the Treasury and Secretary of State, George Shultz, all legendary names, really. Kevin has worked at the highest levels of the financial world as an executive in the private sector. He did very well, and he served at the highest reaches of government as a senior economic advisor in the White House. He knows the White House very well. He's walking through the White House. He's pointing things to me that I didn't even know. At the age of 35, he became the youngest ever Federal Reserve governor. For the past 15 years,
Crazy.
Kevin has been a fellow at Stanford's Hoover Institution, and his credentials really are second to none when you hear them, and there's plenty more. I know that Kevin has the deepest respect and reverence for the institution he will lead.
Got to cross that
today.
200 on the 32nd, or that shoulder,
lucky to
head,
have
right
him.
shoulder, we're done.
The Federal Reserve is a pillar of the world financial system and the most important central bank anywhere in the world, with a history stretching back more than 100 years. It is truly the institution that's most looked to and most respected, and it's now taken on a new and even higher respect, in my opinion. And honestly, I really mean this. This is not said in any other way. I want Kevin to be totally independent. I want him to be independent and just do a great job. Don't look at me. Don't look at anybody. Just do your own thing and do a great job. Okay?
There you go.
Unfortunately, in the eyes of many, the Fed lost its way in recent years. It became distracted by concerns far removed from its core mission and mandate, drifting into matters such as climate policy and DEI initiatives, with the Fed straying from its mandate. While the last administration blew out the deficit, Americans suffered the worst inflation that we had in history. It was the worst inflation we've ever had. As you know, some people say you're wrong about that. It was only in 48 years, but I think 48 years almost sounds worse. The worst inflation we've ever had, so it made it very difficult. Kevin has spoken often about the need to restore the Fed's integrity by returning to a proper focus on its two functional and really fundamental responsibilities: maintaining price stability and low inflation, and achieving full employment. And we talk about it, we've talked about it often. And right now we have the most people working in the United States than we've ever had. We have never had as many people working right now in the United States. And it's something that I like to say, and it's been pretty much that way ever since I've been president. When I go back to the first term, I had those numbers too, and I kept them. And we've done things that are really amazing, but we can bring it to a new and higher level with Kevin. I think we can bring it to a level that nobody ever thought possible. By following through on this vision, Kevin will restore confidence in the Fed, which is so important, and among Americans all across the political spectrum and people from all over the world. And they're going to be looking to Kevin, probably and possibly more than any other person that's had your esteemed position before. I think that's true, Kevin. You got a lot of people watching. I fully expect that with the greatest Fed chairs before him, Kevin will safeguard the Fed's integrity. They'll make their own decisions and hopefully make them well, but they'll be listening to Kevin all the way. I really believe that. Even if they're from a somewhat different persuasion, they're going to be listening to him out of respect, because everybody respects him. Thankfully, unlike some of his predecessors, Kevin understands that when the economy is booming, that's a good thing. We don't have to go crazy. Just let it boom. We want it to boom. We want it to be like nobody has ever had before, because we do have some debt we'd like to take care of. And the way you do that is through growth. We're going to grow our way out of it so fast. And Kevin's somebody, and I feel strongly also, we don't want to see it stifled. We want to stop inflation, but we don't want to stop greatness. And so that's really
Greatness.
a very good thing. A very
You said
positive
greatness.
thing, and that's what he's looking to
Now
do.
you could
He's
polytrade
looking
all
to
this
do
stuff.
Positive economic growth. It's so important. And as we discussed, economic growth doesn't mean inflation. It can be just the opposite, actually. But economic growth does not mean inflation. You don't have to stop the world because you're doing well. Kevin's also said that he'll bring much-needed reform and modernization, transforming obsolete data collection methods, rolling back reliance on inaccurate models, and curtailing the Fed's practice of issuing so-called forward guidance. They want to do things on that. I guess it's a little complex subject, but it's something that Kevin knows about better than probably anybody here. He has the temperament and leadership abilities to foster collaboration among the entire board, and I know he will welcome robust debate. In his mission to keep prices stable and employment high, Kevin will have the full support of my administration. Every one of these people felt, including Kevin, by the way, felt so strongly about this choice. And we have no doubt, we have absolutely no doubt. So important, too. So big, so important. I just turned on the television. I want to see how the stock market's doing today. Stock market's up 600 points. That means they like you. If they didn't like you, it's actually up to 50,702. So that's as of about 12 minutes ago. Now, who knows? But I think it can only go up. I think with you, it's only going to go up. That was a number that nobody thought was reachable during my entire 4 years. If you look at some of the great pundits, they said, well, 50,000 would be impossible during the 4 years, but sometime after, we hit it in the first year, but now we're really hitting it. And think of it, it's up to 50,702. And S&P likewise set a new record today. They both set new records today, and boy, that's something good. But you're going to bring it to a much different level. Believe me, it's good, but it can go much better. And that's what I think you're going to do. In my first year, we passed the largest tax cuts.
He's pressuring him in a way,
American
right?
History,
It's like,
the largest regulation.
he says there's no
cuts
pressure, but then he's like
in history, the
outwardly
largest
saying, like, it's
spending
kind of funny,
cuts
right?
in American history, all things that are so important.
It's like, you guys
to
take it, right?
greatness.
You can hear it. It's like, do
And
the right
last
thing,
year,
Kevin.
we slashed the
Kevin, do
budget
whatever you
by
want.
Almost
If it's what I want.
$500 billion. At the same time, our military was at 1.2 trillion, and we'll be doing the
Drink
one
every
thing we're
time he
gonna
says
be
Kevin.
doing
All
is-
right.
And we build everything
Let's
in
do it.
America.
Let's
We
do it.
build it here. It's jobs, 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 but it's also strength.
You can bet on how many times he
strength.
says
We're
Kevin. 50,
going to be
60,
submitting
80.
a military budget
25.
for $1.5 trillion. We have the greatest military in the world. I built it during my first term. I didn't know we'd be using it so much in my second term, but they
Apparently
gave
you
away
did.
a little bit of it during somebody else's term, foolishly, but it's a very small part relative to the whole. But we have the greatest military in the world. I was with President Xi, and I said to him, we have
Greatest
the greatest
military in the
in
world.
And he actually didn't agree. We had a great meeting. He actually didn't disagree with me on that very much, I will tell you. But we really do what we've done in Venezuela, you see, what we've done to Iran. Iran is
It goes in a
dying to
symmetrical
make a
triangle
deal. We'll
on
see
the
what
1 minute.
happens, but we hit them hard.
Here we are
And
yet
we had no
again,
choice
folks.
because
This has
Iran
been the
cannot
pattern
have
of the last
a nuclear weapon. They
36
cannot have
hours, really. This is it. We either break back up to
So I
77,
promised to cut 10
or we roll
old
over to
regulations,
76.2
as you
and it's
know, in
over.
my first term for every
It's
new
kind of the-
regulation.
it's the
If you put a
diamond,
new
too. Can the
regulation,
diamond
then
break
that's fine,
back
but you
up?
had you had to cut at least 10. And so far, and I did that. It was actually 1 to 12, so I did a little bit better.
It's a clear diamond.
So far, we're blowing it away this year. So far, it's 1 for 129. In other words, we're cutting 129 regulations that we put in, so that's music to your ears. We don't even have to go through Congress for that. It's a lot easier. If I do it, it's a lot easier. But all of these actions are aimed at lowering costs, creating jobs, and driving economic growth. Jobless claims recently hit the lowest level since 1969. Under our leadership, 5 million people have been lifted off of the food stamps. Think of that, just in a short period of time. More Americans are working today, as I said, than ever before. And very importantly, 100% of the net new jobs under this administration have been created in the private sector, which is a number that nobody's ever achieved. Think of that, they're all in the private sector, and we did get rid of a lot of government jobs. You had jobs where there were 10 people for every single job and every single event, and they were doing all the same thing, or they weren't doing very much. And they didn't like me for a while, and now they're all working at private sector jobs, and they're making double, triple, quadruple the pay, and they're loving life, and they're loving going to work. And it was a painful experience cutting that many people from the federal government, but it's been amazing, and you just can't have that. You can never make a country, as I say, great again if you're going to have all government jobs. We're all private jobs, and the jobs are coming. We're building
I can't
more
drink. He hasn't
plants,
said
more
Kevin.
equipment than anybody any president's ever done, any administration's ever done. And the number I like the best is we have $18 trillion being invested in the United States for 11 months, not 12. We haven't gotten the results from 12 yet. We're pretty new. But in 11 months, we have $18 trillion being invested with a T being invested in the United States, and the record was $3 trillion many years ago by a different country that I actually just left. It starts with a C, but we have, and that was 3. And we're at 18 trillion. We're building factories, car plants, everything, AI, everything, all over the country. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And I have to say, I have to give the credit to what I used to say was my favorite word of all, but I got in such trouble because when I said tariff is my favorite word, the media went crazy. They said, what about your wife, your family? What about God? What about religion? So I said, okay, good, I'll make it my 5th favorite word, right? But because of tariffs, we have tremendous amounts of, I mean, the car companies are all coming back. They left us for 35, 40 years. They left us. We will have 50% of the chip making capability of who that man right there is. Don't stand up, will you please? But is that right? We're going to have 50% by the time I leave office, and maybe more than that. They're moving in from Taiwan. They're moving.
He still hasn't said Kevin.
And they're building in Arizona, in particular, in that particular case. But between the auto plants, we have more auto plants under construction now than we've ever had before. We went many years and there was no plant built, and it's all due to what we did with tariffs. I guess November 5th, but all because of the tariffs and what they've done, used properly, used judiciously. So. It's really something.
I'm not basing trades on this. I like to watch price action react to it, though. It's pretty interesting. For me, it's more of a psychological experiment.
You're going to see numbers like we've never seen.
Just like I'm learning right now.
Before. No country has ever seen the kind of numbers you're going to see. And we have some of the people in this room, I look at them, some of the geniuses that are building those plants. You know, a plant used to cost, if you built a shopping
looks like shoulder,
center,
head, right shoulder,
50
dump.
million's a nice center, but 500 million's a giant, beautiful center. These people are investing. You're going to have to look in $50 billion on a building for AI. 50 billion. I say, how big is it? Well, it goes 3 miles by 5 miles. In other words, you drive 3 miles, 5 miles. But it means jobs, and it's got tremendous potential for a lot of things. But when you talk about growth, no country will see, and you'll start to see that very soon, no country will see the growth that we're going to experience, and that we're already experiencing, but that we're going to experience. And one of the things that you see early on is we have the highest number of construction jobs we've ever had, and that's because they're building all of these plants, the auto plants, all of these plants are being built, including medical. Medical is pouring back in. Eli Lilly and so many of they're building 6 major plants. They're going to make almost all of their medicines here. We learned during COVID, it's not good to be held hostage by foreign countries. We're building all of these plants here.
No.
Lilly, Pfizer,
Head and shoulder don't look too good. He hasn't said Kevin once. I can't drink now. Can't drink my coffee because of him.
Have almost all of our medicines.
We were going to drink every time he said Kevin. Now we can't even get a Kevin in.
During 4 years of Biden, our country secured less than $1 trillion.
Bing.
Think of that, though, and we're doing $18 trillion.
Sleepy Joe. If he says Sleepy Joe, you get paid. You can bet that today.
Anything like it in a short time ago.
Sleepy Joe.
And I say this often. The king of Saudi Arabia said to me 2 years ago, he said, I was over there, and by the way, they invested $2 trillion. But I was over talking to him, getting him to invest a lot of money in our country, and he said, you know, President, 2 years ago you were a dead country. And today you're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We're the hottest country anywhere in the world, and we're going to need guidance, and you're going to give us that guidance. But all of the things that we've done, numbers that have tripled and quadrupled, and we need a really steady hand at probably, maybe in many ways, the most. I don't know. I have 2 great justices of the Supreme Court here, so I have to say, I don't know which is more important, being a justice of the Supreme Court or your job. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. I think I'd rather be a justice between you and I. It might be easier. You're going to find out. You'll be saying that. Well, that's a very easy job. With the support and strong and wise chairmanship at the Federal Reserve.
He still hits, man. People still love him, man.
Truly be unlimited with Kevin at the helm, and he's off to an incredible start with his family, with his education, with his background, with all of the things he's done. He's respected by everybody. So important is to have that level of respect where you can walk into a room,
possible head and shoulder,
and people will listen to you, as opposed to walking into a room and not having that kind of persona. He has a persona like nobody else. So I just want to say congratulations.
Oh, he said,
Chairman
Kevin.
Warsh, you are really a special person in getting this job. The people that wanted this job, the
Drink.
most highly trained, highly educated, some of the
Your
greatest
non-alcoholic
credentials I've
beverage.
ever seen. And as far as I'm concerned, nobody was even close. And I just want to congratulate you. And I'd like to ask, if I might, Jane to step forward, and our very highly respected Justice.
Yeah, there's no one that
Clarence
should have been.
Thomas
He
to
was like
come up
made
and,
for this.
Swear in, give him a good oath if you would, because Clarence, we need a really good oath delivered here. Okay?
He
Thank
loves
you
Clarence
very much.
Thomas,
Thank you.
man. Guy is so awesome.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I
The
will
Federal
bear
Reserve is a
true faith
foreign
and
enemy.
allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely
That I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge
And that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office on which I'm about to enter.
the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Go get him. Go get him. Here he comes. Kevin Warsh. It'll do nothing to the chuck. I mean, it's a Friday, low volume. But let's just clap and act like it matters. You know what I mean? We're in a tight triangle, possible diamond here. So I have a minute to speak before Kevin jumps in.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is above and beyond. It is such an honor for Jane and me to have this ceremony here in the East Room with you, sir. I couldn't ask for a more beautiful setting or a more gracious welcome, and I am grateful. I recognize, as the President said, that ours is a time of great consequence. It's also a great honor for me to have the oath of office administered by one of the great and longest-serving public servants, a brilliant and independent thinker, a man dedicated to our Constitution, and no less important, a joyful and collegial presence on our highest court, my esteemed friend, Justice Clarence Thomas.
Trump was like, is that me? He's like, who's he talking about? It's funny. Say Bitcoin, Kevin.
Now, Justice Kavanaugh is here as well. We served as young staffers a full generation ago in this building, and I shouldn't be speaking for another justice, but I will tell you something that I always felt. That Justice Kavanaugh and I felt the majesty of this place where we're now sitting.
Send it on a diamond,
And we
reversal
counted
diamond.
ourselves blessed and grateful to serve the nation we love and to do it in your building, sir. And of course, I must thank Leader Thune, Chairman Tim Scott, and his fellow members of the Banking Committee who saw me through the Senate confirmation. My whole family and I are joined by many others here today who I'm honored to call friends and colleagues, mentors, confidants. Their presence means a lot to me, and I think it means a lot to the President, too.
Oh, yeah, that's a cup and handle. You see
It's the honor of
it?
a lifetime to be called back into public service. And with this oath, I've accepted a high and solemn responsibility. At the swearing in of Alan Greenspan at this very place in 1987, President Ronald Reagan called the chairmanship of the Federal Reserve a, quote, great role in American life. I've known 5 of my predecessors in this job, some of them quite well, but Chairman Greenspan was the first to tell me and show me what this role demands. He recently marked his 100th birthday.
Wow.
And although he can't be here, I'm thinking about him today too. Like Alan, I intend to fill the role of chairman with energy and purpose, just the way Chairman Greenspan did, faithful to the mission and the very best traditions of the Fed. As you demonstrate, Mr. President, every day, energy and purpose are how big obstacles are overcome. Your greatest ambitions are for America, for what free people can achieve when they have the chance. And while I'm not naive about the challenges we face, I believe, Mr. President, these years can bring unmatched prosperity that will raise living standards for Americans from all walks of life. And the Fed has something to do with it. Our mandate at the Fed is to promote price stability and maximum employment. When we pursue those aims with wisdom and clarity, independence and resolve, inflation can be lower, growth stronger, real take-home pay higher, and America can be more prosperous. And no less important, America's place in the world more secure. To fulfill this mission, I will lead a reform-oriented Federal Reserve, learning from past successes and mistakes both, escaping static frameworks and models, and upholding clear standards of integrity and performance. Today marks a return to an institution that I do in fact cherish.
Wheezy breather.
It was nearly a generation ago, at another time of great consequence, that I worked with some outstanding public servants at the Fed, both here in Washington and at the reserve banks. My goal now is to create an environment in which the best people can do their life's best work, and to face every challenge in the spirit of common purpose and devotion to the national interest. In a word, to excellence.
Cup and handle there, see that?
These duties are now mine, Mr. President, because of the trust you have placed in me. I accept them with gratitude and will strive every day to serve our fellow citizens well.
I see this as a symmetrical triangle. They mainly
and
don't.
Final, I'll just say I'm going to look around and try to hold on to this special moment. But after we leave this stage, the real work begins. So let's begin that work. It's an honor. Thank you again, Mr. President.
Let's go. What a way to end it. Let's go. Let's go. Where are we going to go? We're about to find out soon what happens here. Very tight. Very tight. I don't hurt your ears with the clapping. This guy keeps saying, Ijabina. That's it, all right, folks? We got it done. We got it done, all right, folks? We got it done. I hope you liked it. Hope you had a good time. We got it done. Got it done. Bitcoin. And look, I mean, we stopped the bleeding for now, but now you're sitting inside another symmetrical. Isn't that crazy how it's been symmetrical after symmetrical after symmetrical? And it tells you, like, when we're bullish, we'll get bull pennant after bull pennant, falling wedge after falling wedge. When we're bearish, we'll get symmetrical after symmetrical. And it just indicative of what you're, you know, the price, how the price action is going to play out. The patterns show you where you're at. Like, they represent the back and forth. Like, if you see that we're in chop, then the patterns are going to show you indecision patterns, or patterns with less less likelihood. When you're in a high, forming trend and things are going your way, then you're going to get patterns that tell you there's a continuation on hand. It's so, you know what I mean? And this came after years. One day I sat there and I was like, it all makes sense. It all makes perfect sense. I mean, these mainly dump, so I would have to say we're going to be somewhere at 76.5 in the next 10 minutes, but it is a diamond. Like, you know, you got the diamond. A diamond is hard as a rock. And, you know, there's a chance we get a diamond break back to the upside here. It goes in the bottom, we come out the top. It goes in the top, we come out the top, sorry. Send the diamond to 77,250. All right. Masterclass today. I mean, today has been a definite eye opener for sure. We got the bull div, we got the wrap up, we got a double bottom here. Seems to be support at 76.6. And now we're just getting tighter and tighter on this 1 minute. I mean, come on now. Like, the Bitcoin can't get any tighter than that. Just like it got here. It came into this tight price action. It opened up. And it whittled back in. So, like, that's what a diamond is. It's tight, bigger range, back to a tighter range. And they're basically trying to see how many people... See, everyone thinks the market maker knows it's going to go up. It's more like robbing a bank and there's two banks on either side of the street. And you're just waiting to see whose security is lighter. That's kind of a good example, right? So you're sitting there, there's two banks to rob, you want to make, you know, and you're just waiting to see, okay, well, two of those security guards took a break. These guys are all on. Let's go rob this one instead. So, like, they're waiting to see how many people give them the liquidity that they're looking for. If you give them what they're looking for, they're going to take it. It's kind of crazy, but this is how it works. If enough people go short, there's going to be enough liquidity up here to take it up. If enough people go long, there's going to be enough liquidity to take it down. So we're hoping that more people are short today than long. And we do have negative funding rates, which tells me that should be a good sign. There we go. Can we get, and again, every time I get a punch, it's a faker rally. And Bookmap says we go to 78.5. So there's, you know what I mean? The beginning would be 77,250, and we go from there, right? Exactly. Thanks for everything, Sammy. Breakout to the upside. Nice little pump so far. It should pump. Based off this diamond, if you come in the top, you should go out the top, back up to, definitely to this area. It's a trampoline platform, right? Looks like we did break the 30-second 200 moving average. The 21 touch. We got the moneymaker right there. We got the Sam price. There's the Sammy special. 21 above the 200. That's when you're supposed to get the pump. We got it. Now we want to replicate this same plan on the 1 minute. And so on and so forth. I mean, we really worked through price action today in a major way. We've been live an extra 20 minutes. So someone did, shouldn't it dump a bit over the weekend? So, like, are you reading a manual where Bitcoin's supposed to do something? I love, I love your participation in the show. Thank you for the comment. But I never understand this types of thought process. Like it has to dump on the weekend? Like it does the same thing every single... No. I mean, maybe odds are it will dump more likely, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen for sure. Rounded bottoms, pay those bills, boys. I love it, man. Remember, Chris? Rounded bottoms, pay the bills, bro. Bang into the upside. Shout out to Crypto Revolution, my man. He says, Edjabina, this is the only crypto streamer worth watching. Great. Been watching for years. Will come every day as I have been for the last couple years. Thanks, Sam, for all the streams. God bless you, man. That's super nice of you. Shout out to Iha Bena. I love you, man. Thank you so much. I think I said your name right. I hope so. What's cracking, players? Shout out to Tone. Shout out to the blues guy in the house. Let's take a look at the super chats. Make sure we got to all the fan funding here today. We did look at ZBCN. What are your thoughts on alts? I mean, that's an open picture. We're going to take that one step at a time. Yeah, I can't really give you the answer there, but we're watching Bitcoin. Tesla, por favor. I was more bullish on Tesla. Let's see if that's something that we're going to find, I mean, how are they, SpaceX, the robots? I think all that kind of propels Tesla higher as a whole. It's like a family. We gave you Tesla down there. So let's put that back. We gave you Tesla down there at 471. Now sitting at 420, and I see it kind of hustling sideways. The big breakout comes in March or April of 2027. So it's going to consolidate, take some time, and then in March and April 2027, big moves come. And I see Tesla by $900 somewhere into the 2029s. I see a double up in the next 3 years for Tesla. All right. Could be sooner, but that's, my conservative outlook on Tesla. All right back in the range here. It did break out. Now it seems to be retesting. Just nothing goes up in a line. We get no follow through recently. It's always like the price action could make you pull your hair out. It could get you going. You got to just relax, take a break, and say, No, so I didn't mean to be rude. I know what you're saying. Shouldn't jump on the weekends. Who knows what happens every day? Let's take every day open. Like, shouldn't I wake up in a bad mood on the weekend? It's like, shouldn't I wake up in a good mood on the weekend? Shouldn't I? It's like, we don't know what's going to happen. Let's just be open-minded to anything. You know what I mean? Look, back inside now. Look at this. A fake out, breakout. Get everyone to run long and then stop. I mean, this is just... Low volume Friday. Holiday vacation weekend. Be very careful this weekend. A lot of people will lose a lot of money chasing to this weekend. It's going to be lower volume. It's going to be light on the order book. And they're going to go after anyone that thinks they got an edge. If you don't have like a bigger, I'd say bigger time frame, 1 hour, 4 hour, set it and forget it. Be okay with what happens. Otherwise, if you're in there watching the price action on the small time frames, you're going to be nitpicking in it. And they're going to chew you apart. They are waiting for you to trade 100x on the 1 minute and be indecisive. They can't wait for you. You're their favorite person. They're going to chew you up and spit you out. So please don't be that person. Okay? This in-between price action tells me to stay exactly. It'll go up, then down, then up, then down. Exactly. This guy, Hannah Fish, says, it's crazy to long above a pile of liquidity below. I see a pile of liquidity above, though. So, right here. I do see enough below. There's a lot below, too, though. All the way to 755. That's where we kind of end, and it gets, With the recent price action, are you still 90%? That's a good question. I feel like I answered it on the live today. The indicators tell me with high probability that must be a bottom, but the TA is starting to get shaky on that idea. The TA is starting to tell me that we're getting to crunch time. We're going to know by the end of May how that May candle closes, and then from there we're going to be able to get a lot of information from that monthly close. So, my bad. Oh, don't never say my bad, bro. You can super chat whatever you want. I never want to offend anybody. It was just a big question. I'd have to look at some charts, make some, and I don't know if I can hit that right now at the present moment. Watch my macro analysis later on today, where I will go over, that comes out about 4 or 5 o'clock or something, where I do go over total 3, and I should basically somewhat answer that question, but it's going to take I'm going to spend like 4 to 5 minutes on the chart. It's going to be in depth, and yeah. Shout out to Stack McChange in the house. Appreciate that. Interesting. He says he always looks for shorts. He makes more money looking for shorts on the weekend. Low volume and dumping is very easy, quick money. I always look for shorts on the weekend. Interesting. I learned the hard way trying to long for the longs of the weekend. Yeah. I mean, less people know the book and more people going long, which creates a lot of stop hunting. I don't know, You can speculate almost everything on anything. That's why it's good to just keep a system going and do it. Yep. Everybody, I love you. I'm going to jump out of here for the day. I could sit here and watch this price action with you all day. We're going to get tighter and tighter again here. And it's almost best to just kind of be on a bigger time frame and observe. If you get too caught up in these smaller time frames, they will eat your brain. I don't want that happening to my lifers, so I want you to have a good life. I want you to enjoy your life while you're learning how to trade or trading and winning. So, or even, losing sometimes, but gaining that knowledge. So, everyone, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. As this may be the last live stream from Florida. I think one more tomorrow morning. I don't know, quick And I may miss the Saturday night live stream. Maybe not. I'll probably be there around 11 or something, but I think it'll definitely get pushed to later. I have a crazy day tomorrow ahead of me, so yeah. But stay focused, stay amazing. Help each other out when I'm distant for the charts, which will be tomorrow, just a day here and there. But be there for each other in the group. Hold you down like I would hold you guys down. All right. Exactly. Take care, everyone. God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here. We're getting a little bit of a pump. That 1 minute crosses the 200. We can get out of this mess. It's really about that 1 minute 200 moving average. Let's see if we can get it. I love you all. Thank you so much. Stay blessed. Stay amazing. I appreciate each and every one of you. What an amazing live stream. Thank you, dear Lord, for this opportunity you've given me, and thank you for all the beautifulfulness that's in my life. May I look more at the beauty and the gratitude and have gratitude for all the beautifulness in my life. Amen. Amen. May I, help me whenever I see scarcity. Help me whenever I get into a stress mode. Always bring myself back into opportunity. Tell myself I am the opportunity and begin to build. The same for you. Make sure your mentality is protected. Always push. Always push. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. One positive thought is stronger than 1,000 negative thoughts. Keep repeating that. Have one positive thought today if you're struggling. Keep going. Don't give up. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless. The secret to success is getting started.